Peace, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Psychedelic Saturdays. Oh man, I got a special one for y'all today, man. Special one. Good energy, good vibes right here. We're gonna vibe out for a little bit, just a little bit, cause we can go all day on this joint, man. But we gonna try to be light tonight. We're gonna try to be light, a little light. So today, my guest is no other than my cuz, but she's Cosmic Cutie. She is a mom, entrepreneur,
Today.
a spiritual, a spiritual teacher, and most importantly, man, a spiritual guide. She was my guide. She was the one that introduced me to the shrooms. So it was no other way to have her as my first guest. So without further ado, cuz let the people know a little bit about yourself, man.
All right. Peace to the world. A lot of people know me as Shalom. A lot of people know me as Cosmic Cutie. But to most, I'm known as Amber. So y'all can call me whatever you want. Doesn't matter. It's all the same, right? It's still me. But thank you for having me, cuz I really appreciate it. This is what our third time doing the show together. I know you came when I was doing stuff on you. Not YouTube, but Instagram, and then we
Hmm.
did, two of your psychedelic Saturdays. So, I'm really happy to be back. Thanks for having me.
Man.
You want me to talk about myself?
Yeah, you can talk about yourself a little bit. Well, man, that was good enough. You ain't really gotta go into all of it. You know what I'm saying? That was good enough. That was good.
All right,
That
all
was
right.
good.
Okay, we'll save it, but we'll save my spill about who I am and everything for a second.
Right.
For in a
Right.
second. But yeah, but how was your day today though?
It was good. It was good, man. I was still I ain't gonna lie, man, I was still on my feelings about some shit that happened the other day. You know what I'm saying? My other little
Okay.
podcast I do with my cousins and shit. You know, it's just different, man, when you get to a certain level in your life, on your journey and shit.
Mm,
Dealing with certain people, it can be difficult.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't think people realize sometimes everything ain't about who's right or wrong. I'm just trying to give you some messages of knowledge, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of people that's stuck in that, that lower state of themselves, they always trying to prove themselves as being right. And
Yeah.
I don't think people realize that every conversation ain't about right or wrong. It's just I'm trying to give you some knowledge, man. That's it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I actually was going. I'm glad you said this, man, because I was going to ask you, how do it feel? Because I said when you go back, sometimes you can see how
Mm,
nobody has moved forward, right? And it ain't
yeah.
judging, man. I kind of hate the word judgment. I don't even really like it for real no more because I feel like people use that as an excuse to not try to better
Hmm.
themselves. So I was going to ask you,
Right.
said, you actually went physically back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what have you experienced? Besides the stuff that you didn't told me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what have you actually seen and experienced for yourself? Like, just going back to something that, you know, can be a little tricky.
Yeah. So basically come back to Maryland, right? That's what you
Yep.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was just making sure. So and this is crazy because my grief counselor, I started grief counseling. For those that are wondering, my mother passed back in August. And I was living in Arizona. And so I moved back from Arizona, back to Maryland, which is home for me. I left home like 5 years ago. But anyways, um, and coming back, I was about to say something, but it just I lost my train of thought. So I'll probably circle back to that. I was literally about to say something, I lost my train of thought. But the journey of self-mastery is so important because when you come back, especially on the terms that I came back on, right? I didn't come back because I was, flat on my face and couldn't survive and couldn't make it. And it wasn't anything like that. I had to come back for um purposes of family, you know what I'm saying, and
Hmm.
things of that sort. I personally feel like right now I'm going through an initiation. And I feel like every single time we engage with the past, meaning like whether you're dealing with family or whether you're dealing with, an ex or a job or whatever the case may be, right? It's kind of like mini Mercury retrogrades,
Mm,
within Mercury retrograde cycles. That's how I see it because you're revisiting something, right? And reevaluating and anything to do with right? But I realized that I'm going through an initiation. So like I feel honored. I feel grateful. I feel nostalgic, of course, because this is my entire life was in this city here in Maryland. I'm back in my mother's house. I've come to take over things, and it's like the baton for me. It's like the baton being passed down from one person to another. So that's one
mm,
aspect. Now, I live in duality. On the other side of that, and playing the funeral and seeing how people act, when people pass, um, and just the entitlement that people have to things that they didn't even work for. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like the audacity of people, especially when they're in a state of sleep, when they're in a state of unknowing or uh, um, a state of being what do they call it, NPC. You know what I'm saying? Like a
right, right,
non valuable player. But it's just like you realize that at every conversation that you have with these people is like little mini initiations, and you're being tested to see if you learned the lesson. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Because I know I failed left and right in the beginning because when I had to face like family members and I was still going through, that's what I was talking about, self mastery. When I was in the beginning stages of my self mastery, people were testing me left and right, friends, family, colleagues, partners, romantic partners, whatever the case may be. Everybody in my circle was testing me. I'm just like, yo, I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? So naturally we start distancing ourselves away from people. That's just what we do.
Right, right, right.
But but to bring it home, I feel a lot of things honestly, because like I told my grief counselor, she asked me, and that's why that's how I connected the two, because she asked me, she's like, how do you feel about being home? And I'm like, nostalgic. Like I feel like I'm a kid again.
Right.
I feel like I'm a kid again. And it's how I know, like when you said to me, cause like I see a vision of you um being there but also leaving and going
Hmm.
back and leaving and coming back. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And that really speaks to my South Node, which is my birth chart. And we're gonna get into that because I want to talk about my birth chart reading that I had got for my birthday that I invested in myself and I never had one before. But my astrological birth chart reads that my South Node is Sag, which I know that's your sun
I
sign.
knew you. That's why I was gonna ask you that, right? Because for some reason, I didn't mean to cut you off, but for some reason, I knew that somewhere in there you was gonna have a Sagittarius sign, and that's I just had a feeling. But nah, go
Oh,
ahead, go ahead.
'cause I have a lot of Sagittarius placements. I have what's considered a Sagittarius stellium. So I have three or more planets in the sign of Sag. So I have a lot of Sagittarius placements. Like I have
Mm.
Neptune in Sag, Uranus in Sag, Venus in Sag. Um, what is my other ones? It's a whole bunch of them.
So since
Anyways,
since we on this topic, man, since we went into the birth chart, a lot of people don't really know
yeah,
what it means. So explain to the people what it means to have your birth chart read, because you actually did mine. I know you may not have went into depth like you got yours done, but the way you did
yeah,
mine was
yeah,
pretty not perfect for me. So just explain to like a little bit
yeah,
more in
yeah.
depth. Yeah.
Basically, your okay, so your birth chart is basically your thumbprint into this realm, into this physical realm, right? Into this physical matrix. So everyone's born on a day. Everyone's born in a month, a day, and a time and a city, right? Which all of these are coordinates that make up your um like your Aries, what bounds you into this realm, right? It's what creates your ego, right? It's
Mhm.
who you are on the survival level. That is what Aries represents as being the first house. But anyways, so your birth chart basically comprises of your birth month, your birthday, your birth time, and your birth city, right? And you can go on. I like to use the website, shameless plug, it's not even me, they're not even paying me, y'all, side note. But astroseek dash excuse me, it's astro dash seek.com. So astro dash seek.com. You select birth chart and then you put in your month, your day. You have to know, okay, so your birth time, you can get away with not knowing your birth time. If you don't know your birth time, what I would suggest is getting your birth certificate from Vital Records, because it will have your birth time on it. That's what I did. I had to get my birth time, so I reached out to the people that give you your birth. What is it? Who is it? Vital
Uh,
Records. That's it.
Vital Records. Yeah,
Vital
Vital
Records.
Records.
So when you get all that information, you plug it all in, and basically the AI, right, or the website will basically spit out a report, an accurate report of where every single planet in the sky was placed when you were born. Okay.
Mm.
But yeah, so basically, when that report comes out, you get more than just the everyday horoscope reading. Like I remember back in the day reading horoscope readings out of the magazine, and trying to see, like, what was going to be for me for my sun sign or whatever, right? But this is an in-depth report of every single planet, every little tiny, like, smaller planet, like everything, comets, you name it, any placement that you want, it will be in this particular birth chart. So I got an actual reading by somebody that I follow on YouTube, and I'm not gonna put his information up there because I just feel like this is for me. So I'm not even gonna put him
Right.
out. I'm not out there as who he is.
Right.
But basically, I purchased the report is free. I mean, well, not with him. AstroSeek. The report is free. I just want to put that out there, right? That report is free. Now, the report that I got through this guy, anytime you get an astrological reading, I'm gonna just preface to everybody, it's very involved, and it requires a lot of um overstating of mythology, of science in the realm of astronomy, okay? And then, of course, understanding esoteric knowledge, right? So it's not just, oh, I'm just going, like I said, it's not like I'm gonna just read your horoscope for your sun sign. That's when I say the surface level, because as you know, with me reading just yours, even that was surface level, because I'm not an
Surface
astrologer,
level.
but
Right.
I have knowledge and I have intuition, insight, especially with me being a tarot reader. And so, even with me and you going over a birth chart, you was just like, yo, cuz, like, what the fuck? Like, this shit makes sense, and it's just, you sit back and you're just like, bro, like, and the thing is everything that this man was talking about. Now, this man don't know me from Adam or nor Eve, okay? He don't know me at all. He don't know me from a can of paint. He's just looking at my what? My birth chart. That's
Right.
it. That's it. He don't know nothing about me. He just knows my birth chart. So as he's just talking and talking and talking, I'm sitting up here like, bro, everything that you're saying right now, it's kind of like, I mean, I've had tarot readings before done, but this was like, okay, there's a saying that goes around the spiritual community that Wells Fargo, right, the guy who created Wells Fargo Bank, he said
Uh,
that the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire is that billionaires have astrologers, right? And I don't know if Wells Fargo actually said that shit or not. I don't know. But
right.
can tell you that if you have an act. like if you have an actual astrologer, they say have what, a lawyer on retainer, a financial advisor on retainer, okay, and a good doctor on retainer. You need to also have a good astrologer on retainer because he walked through the entire year with me, 2026, right? 2026, because there's so many transits happen. There's so, yo, cuz when I say this is the year. This is the fucking year. And we could come back and do a whole podcast on this shit. This
I
is the
believe it.
year that if you want to change your life, hear me, y'all. If you want to change your life, this is the year to do it. Starting in March, because that starts the real new year,
The real
astrologically
New Year.
speaking. The real new year is in March. It's not in January. Everything is the my entire neighborhood's frozen right now. Frozen. This is not a new year. Okay, if you look outside, it's dead. The entire ground is frozen under a
Frozen.
foot of snow and ice. So
Damn.
this is not the new year, but we are still shedding from the previous year. We're still currently shedding. And as we
The
do
year of
that,
the
we
snake.
move and we progress into March.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
it is
year
the
of the
year of the
snake.
snake. Yes, we are concluding that right now. But we have so many major transits about to happen. You got Neptune going into Aries, you have Saturn going into Aries. Pluto is about to start moving and shaking. In Aquarius, you know what I'm saying? Like you have Chiron, which is a huge thing. Chiron is your wounded healer, and it's where you need to do the most work, including shadow work. In order to self master, you need to heal your Chiron, wherever your Chiron placement is. Mine is in Taurus, right? Which is very, very fitting for what is going on right now in my life. And literally, I've
Mhm.
been saying that this year I want to change my nervous system, and we're talking about shrooms today. So we're gonna be talking about mycelium. We're gonna be talking about a nervous system. Okay, that's what we're gonna be talking about, right? But this is the year to upgrade your nervous system.
Hmm.
Okay. This is the year to do it. So, like I said, like we are, and then the after the year of the snake is the fire horse. So we're gonna be going into the fire horse, which is Sagittarius. Hello. Hello, Sagittarius. Your sign, you're all are a centaur. Y'all are centaurs, right? And that is a fire sign, your mutable fire, with your mutable fire, right?
Mm.
So it's gonna be a year to remember, but it's also going to be a year of if you didn't start some shit this year, you going to be left behind. You going to be left behind. If you don't get the building this year, you will get left behind. And I don't mean like, oh, it'll never happen for you. It just probably going to cost you twice as more.
Right. Because in numerology, this year is pretty much number one. Year number one. So look at it in that term, you pretty much starting over. So you look at it like you said, you're getting a redo, right? But the
Yes.
energy is changed. The energy not the same. So I think a lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize that with each shift of the planet, the energy changed. So the planet been shifting for a long time now. For over the past 6 years, the planet has been shifting and elevating at the same
Correct.
time. So if your
Yes.
energy isn't vibrating and aligning with the planet, you are going to be in trouble, like you said. So you got to be changing
Yeah.
because Mother Earth is changing. Nature is changing.
Yeah.
So if you're
Yes.
not
Your
changing,
Uranus is going back to Gemini. Like
right,
Uranus is going to be leaving Taurus and going into Gemini, and that is brand. Like this is the time where we should have been redefining what stability and comfort looks for. How does that look for us? Because if you don't know what stability and comfort looks like for you, it ain't depending on a motherfucking government. It ain't depending on a motherfucking job. I'm gonna tell you that.
that
We're coming out of that energy. That's the energy we're coming out of.
that
And eventually ain't
dependability
gonna be no
energy,
jobs for nobody.
right?
Yes, codependency. And for a lot of us, especially millennials, hello, I'm a millennial. Am I a millennial? 1984. I think I'm a millennial. Yeah. But anyways, especially for millennials, Gen Z specifically, and then millennials and Gen Z, right? If you and then your generation, cause you're not a millennial, you're the
Nah,
generation before me. What's the generation
79.
before? What's yeah?
Uh,
I forgot what y'all are. I forgot what
I,
y'all are. But
yeah, I can't tell you.
the tail end of your the tail end of your generation, because what happens, cosmically speaking, and then we're getting to the shrooms. Cosmically speaking, right? The sun is hitting the earth at a different point, right? Because contrary to most, the earth does spin, but not the way they told you that it spins. Okay, but the Earth does spin, but not the way they said. So they gave you the truth and the lie because it's not
Right.
really on an axis. It's a dome. Let's just go with that. And there's a rotation of the dome. It's a vibration and a because what vibrates also rotates at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So you got to understand. It's just understanding physics and science, right?
Yeah, because vibration creates a
And
spin.
exactly, exactly,
Right.
exactly. So as the world turns, as that's soap opera, but as the world turns, the sun and everything that's going on cosmically speaking is it's like Star Wars. It's like zoom, zoom, zoom. Different energies that are zapping the earth. This is a real thing. This is real shit, right? And at every epoch, at every age, at every defining moment, there's these click, 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 right. Makes me think about doomsday, the doomsday clock. They done moved the clock up.
Mm.
They done moved the clock up. Okay, we 85 seconds to midnight now. Know what to tell y'all? I'm trying to tell you, trying to warn y'all now. But the light fractal hits the earth differently, and that's what they call a a a world awakening. And it happened. This is not the first time. This is just we've seen it in our lifetime.
Right, right, right.
We talking about shrooms tonight. Shrooms been around. Shrooms is ancient. That ain't no new
Shoot.
shit. That ain't no new
Shrooms,
technology.
shrooms is the thread of the earth. I was
Yeah.
watching and before we go into that topic, I was watching Land vs. Sea. And on there, you had the entities coming from the sea dealing with the humans on land. But one episode they was talking about trying to connect the dots or whatever. And
Hmm.
the girl on there said, well, it's the mycelium network. And the guy said, you talking about mushrooms, shrooms? I just started busting out laughing. And then she
Yeah.
was like, yeah, mycelium is the network for everything that involves nature. I said, well, that's what we've been saying. We already said that the mushrooms are connected to everything. The
Yes.
mycelium is connected to everything, even in the waters. She said it. She said it grows in. I said, well, I know that
Yes.
because it is an algae. That's what it
Excuse
really
me.
is.
Yes.
Like you could go if you really had your research done. You could really walk outside, and if you knew where some mushrooms at, and if you knew what they was, you could pick up some mycelium right now outside. But you gotta know what
Yes.
you do because some of them joints will kill you.
Oh yeah.
So at the end of the day, the mushroom, man, the mushroom. So let's go right into
Yeah.
it. Right to it. So who was the
Oh,
first
by
person
the
to introduce?
way, before we
Huh?
start, I didn't even realize this until I looked down because I'm, lighting my spliff here. But I have a mushroom on my
Mushroom
lighter.
lighter.
Yeah, so we definitely in alignment right now. But go ahead, cuz I'm listening.
So so
I didn't even plan that.
nah, I know you didn't. I know you didn't. So who introduced you to shrooms, and how was your first experience?
Okay. So let's back up, right? because I was going through a spiritual awakening, and um this was 2019, 2020, somewhere around there. I had my full awakening, like knowingly, in 2017. So took me about 2 years or so to get to a point where, okay, I need more. And whenever the student is ready, the teacher will come. Trust, the teacher gonna show up knocking, and you better be ready to answer the call. And so I was, going through my awakening or whatever, and I started coming across content talking about mushrooms. And I ain't no druggie. Hear me, go with me. Go with me on this, okay? Please don't judge me. I ain't no druggie. So I was just, at first I was like, I am scared. I don't know, because I knew it was essentially a type of hallucinogen.
Hmm.
But again, me being new on my journey, I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if I'm ready to see some shit that I'm going to be afraid of, not knowing that what you see is just a reflection back as to what's going on inside of you, as within, so without, right? And so, um, fast forward, I was doing the research, and I was like, I think that this is what I want to try. I think this is what I want to do. And I was at a point where I didn't have to be a mother at the time, because, my daughter was with her father. So, I had, excuse me, ample time to actually say, I'm going to do a deep dive into myself using this instrument to assist me, to be my
Hmm.
guide, right? So I had one of my, because I used to be heavy on Instagram, and I had a really big spiritual business, crystal shop. And so I knew a lot of people, had a lot of connections for a long time, still do. But then I was like fully connected, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like an overnight thing. I'm asking for them, and they just show up at my door. I'm like, shit. So I had a client of mine's, she lives in Florida, and she's Jamaican, by the way. But and she said, hey, I got a plug. He's in Atlanta. He's like us. He's like us. He's Jamaican as well. And I think that you would really enjoy what he has. And I'm like, dang, sis, I didn't know you was on there like that. When you start asking, you start when you start seeking, it's like you better be ready for what you
You
find,
seek
right?
and you'll find. Yep.
Yes. And so she hooked me up with a guy named Focus. And so I reached out to him, and I said, hey, like, I am, interested in, whatever, whatever, boom, boom, boom. Said, bam, that's how I got into it. But the first time you asked me the first time, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So the first time, so that was me, and how I got like fully into it,
Hmm.
right? But before that, there was this guy that I was following. He's from DC. I forgot his name. Like, I don't even follow him. I don't even know where that guy is. Let me tell you, that's the most free bird person I've ever met in my life. Like, when you talk about like quintessential boho hippie, that is him, right?
Wow.
And he lived in Florida. He lived in right outside of Orlando. Now, this is me, my story, the first time that I ever did it. So I during COVID, this was my when I had my first experience with shrooms.
Hmm.
During COVID, me and my one of my really good friends, we went to Orlando together. And I told the guy that I was coming, and that I wanted to, because I knew he lived in Florida. And I'm like, hey, like, do you live near such and such? He was like, yeah, I could drive up there, whatever, whatever, boom, boom, boom. It's gonna be lit. So I'm like, bet, it's gonna be lit. So I told him, do you got any shrooms? He was like, do I have any shrooms? And I said, and now I know why he act the way he acts. Now I know, like, it just all makes sense now, because he be doing the shrooms all the time, and now I know why he acts the way he acts now, right? So it's a very shamanic experience, and that is his energy.
Mm.
So I went to Florida, and we did our thing, me and my friend, and he comes over, and he got these shrooms. Okay. So, um, my first time. So this is me going into my first time, right? So he comes over, he has the shrooms. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't even know how much I took. I probably took maybe a gram or two, maybe something like that, right? And then he leaves me some. He was like, "Here, save this for the morning so that you can like, kind of do a follow up." So I'm like, "All right, bet." So took the shrooms or whatever, and he brought like his singing bowls and shamanic music, and he also had his husband with him, because he is gay. And so he had his husband with him, but his husband opted not to do. I think his husband took a little bit, but he didn't do a whole lot. But it was
Right.
me and him, me and the guy. Like I said, I forgot his name. Like if I keep talking, I may like remember it. But anyways, so he took a little bit, but me and the guy we took a lot. So I'm like, all right, it takes time to absorb and go through the body and start showing its effects. So we could just kiki. My friend, she was upstairs asleep because she wasn't feeling well. So it was just the three of us downstairs. And like the Airbnb that we had, it had like a small enclosed patio with the pool outside. So we just said, hey, we're in Florida, so we like, hey, let's just go outside and chill, right? So we went outside and we chilled, and I'm sitting like up against this wall in a chair, and the two of them are sitting in like the pool chairs that are out here by the pool, right? So we're just out there, right? And all of a sudden, all of a sudden, I look up to him. I'm just like, like when does it start kicking in? You know what I'm saying? And before I knew it, it was like this, like
Wow.
literally, like just like if something just came over me and just pulled me in, and like I was sitting in the chair, and like I don't like. Okay, when I say the fractal of time does not exist, like if you've never done shrooms before, you're not going to understand what I'm saying. But I felt like I jumped many timelines, and I was sitting in a chair going nowhere. And like I like sat up, and I looked at him, and he was like, you starting to feel it, ain't you? And I'm like, yo, like was I just sleep? and he's and he starts laughing, and he was like, yeah. And the other guy, his husband, he's like, yeah, she is starting to hit her. So he was like, all right, let's start the ceremony. So he
Mm.
start he starts playing the singing bowls and playing the shamanic music. And I when I say this, cuz when I say that I've never fought so hard in my life to just be in the moment. Like I've been drunk, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? I've
Right.
I've I've popped pills, I've done Molly, you know what I'm saying? But like this was like I could not root myself. I could not like stay grounded in the present. I just kept like going places, and I kept hearing like I kept hearing like a Sasquatch. That's the only thing I could say. It's like
Hmm.
some like animal kept calling to me. And I'm like, y'all don't hear that animal? They're like, no. Like, no. So I'm just like, yo, this shit crazy. Now I didn't even get to the craziest part yet. So we're just down there, and we're in the I'm in the music, and the music helps you to stay centered,
Yes, it
especially for
does.
it being your first time. Like you
Yes.
need something to center you and to keep you like, keep you here. And it's good if you can, like how I'm moving like this, like it's good if you can do like movement and things of that sort, because like I know a lot of people do these shrooms recreationally, but this was not a recreational session. This was like a spiritual initiation for me. Um, and I didn't even really know it yet that I was actually, being initiated. But like it was literally an initiation into myself and into my darker self. Darker self meaning like my subconscious, right?
Right.
So a lot happened because I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of profound spiritual jargon was passed back and forth. We were just, I was talking in parables and all it. Like it was the
Right.
most profound experience. I was just like, yo, like wow, And so eventually they said, all right, we're about to leave because he took way more than me because that man was gone. So when he left, because we have a balcony upstairs. I was in the master bedroom, and there's a balcony in the bedroom upstairs. And he was like, the he was like, when we leave, I want you to go outside, go on the balcony, and watch the stars. I'm gonna tell you this: there's a lot of activity going on up there.
In
It's
the
a
sky.
whole. When I say I stared at the sky for hours, and it was shit flying, doom, zoom, 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 zoom. Like I was just like, oh my god, like I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. You know what I'm saying? Like again, if you've never done shrooms, you're not gonna understand. And I've never had a moment like that since. Now
Wow.
I've had some crazy moments after that doing shrooms, but never have I looked in the sky and seen that much activity. That never was presented to me ever again. And I kept seeing like entities in on my side view, like flying by me and shit. And I'm just like, yo, what's that? You know what I'm saying? Like it was like I was paranoid. But it was a because that time I didn't cry. It was a very like peaceful, I was just so enamored with the experience that I didn't become necessarily emotional. So my
Right.
first
Right.
time was that was my first time. It was an initiation. It was very shamanic like because the guide that I had was very shamanic. So yeah.
Right. So he pretty much helped you through the journey, pretty much, and then
Yes.
allow you to, because man, it's some people can spiral out on them joints, man. 'Cause they, like you
Yes.
said, you gotta have something that's gonna center you, or like you said, to ground you, because it will take you places. You'll start to hear stuff, and this is the first time, because my first time was pretty much the same way too. And I know we did 3.5 each. Me and my wife, we did
Oh
three
my
and a half each,
God. We had
and
a time. Well, no,
yeah.
we did shows together, right?
We did them a couple times together.
Couple
We did them a
times. Yeah,
couple
yeah,
times.
yeah.
We did them a couple
Yeah.
times. But that first time that you had introduced Focus to me, the crazy thing, I ended up meeting him when what I'm saying, when I came down here. So uh when the first time we did him, like I said, we did 3.5, 3.5, and like I said, that's when I had my journey with the sports thing. But even that night, like I could feel like different animals outside, like around me. Like my
Yes.
animal instincts kicked in, right?
Yes.
So I could feel, and in that area where I was at that time, I never thought about no coyotes, but I could sense coyotes. Like
Yeah.
that's the instinct I was having. I'm like, bro, ain't no damn coyotes around here, but I could feel them. I'm like, "Yeah, this is the craziest feeling ever." And around that time, I actually had a dog too, so I don't know if his energy was affecting mine, and I could feel what he was feeling, because that's the sense I was getting. I was getting the
Yeah.
sense that like I was almost feeling just like the dog,
Yeah.
because animal instinct is way more intense than ours, way more. So just that first time for me was very intense on a whole nother level. So just to hear you say how intense it was for you, it is intense the first time. It is. And for
Yeah.
some people, they run from it after the first time. Like, all right, bro, I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Me and my wife was like, Murph, send me some more. Send me some
Yeah.
more. Cause I
Yeah.
always, it's a ride, man. It's a ride, and I've never been afraid to ride roller coasters. So for me, it was just like, all right, well, I'm about to get on another ride. Let's see where this ride take me at. And
Yeah.
the mycelium, man, like the mycelium, the network that's inside of that does something to you, and it just opens you up to a whole nother different side of you.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, man, you gonna try to fight it, but after a while, I gave up. I'm like, all right, bro, it is
Yeah.
what
You
it is. I'm
can't.
not
It's too
going.
strong. It comes on too strong. And eventually it sits you down and says either you surrender or you start throwing up. Like that's literally the bargain. It's either, that's the ultimatum. It's either you gonna surrender and we gonna do this work, or you gonna be sick as a dog. You know what I'm saying? Because I've had those experiences too where I just, yeah. Especially if you are consuming things that aren't necessarily on your vibration, so like food and things of
Hmm.
that sort, it will attempt to detox you and clear you out. Not even attempt, it does. It
Oh yeah,
does.
I didn't see
Yeah.
multiple videos where people just earling in buckets,
Yes.
like from people doing shaman sessions with a group of people, and I'm like, bro, why they got a bucket sitting there? They're like, oh, that
Because
I
people
never
throw up.
had that experience. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I got to the point like, all right, bro, ain't no fighting this. Whatever's gonna come is gonna come. It is what it is. But don't get me wrong, I did have like a sensation one time where I felt like I was going to be sick, but my inside was like, yo, just breathe, bro, because that's all you need. And so once I started breathing, the sensation of me feeling sick went away.
Yeah,
So
because you don't realize when you're trying to fight against something, your breathing becomes erratic. You know what I'm saying? And this is why like you have to be fully centered in yourself. And when you're fully centered, you're engaging your nervous system in its entirety. And that's what we were talking about with the whole nervous system type of thing, because like you have to become aligned with the shrooms. Like you have to become aligned with its actual, network. I had a friend and we used to do them together. And I've done shrooms with a lot of people, but we used to do shrooms together and we call them medicine men. And like when you feel it starting to come on, it literally starts from the bottom of your feet and works its way up through
it
your body. You know what I'm
does.
saying? And you feel it growing and growing and growing and growing. And you're just like, oh shit, here we go. Like, and there's no coming back. It's like this is why I don't like, eating edibles and shit like that. Because once it's in your body, I don't care if you throw up. That shit ain't going nowhere. It's in you. You know what I'm saying? And it feels like little men just crawling up in like not in a weird way, but just like little like shamanic medicine men is what we called them, because that's literally the vision that was given to us. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it just starts to come over your body, and you're just like, oh shit, man, like. Oh God, here we go. You know what I'm saying? And you just sit back and you close your eyes and you just start, just start breathing with it so that you can fully become integrated with it, because it is technology.
And
It's
once it
natural technology.
Yes. And once it hits your, like you said, it starts from your feet. And that's how you know it's from the nature. You know what I'm saying? Because it starts from your ground, starts from the ground. And like you said, you can feel it. It's almost like it feels like a burning sensation to me. I guess maybe because I'm
Yeah.
a fire sign, so it feels like oh shit, it's starting to get hot. And then you feel it like boom, but once it gets to your heart chakra, game over.
Yeah.
Game over, bro. Game over.
Yeah.
It ain't no coming out of it. And I don't care what you do. Now the only thing that helps me level it out is the herb.
Yeah, me too. Because the
But
herb is connected. It's part of the mycelium network. You know what I'm saying? It's part of that network. And so, it's rooted in the ground, mommy marijuana or marijuana is
mhm.
rooted in the ground itself, just like shrooms, they grow from the dirt, from the ground. And so, like I said, they're part of the same mycelium network, but they do different things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So even if you were to um like have like if you were to smoke herb, like not actual like marijuana herb, but like let's say Damiana or rose hip petals, or lavender, or different these different herbs have different technologies that are in them, and they do different things to help us on our journey. And so if you are connected with herbs, like herbs, not, like I said, not marijuana herb, but like herbs,
Hmm.
right? Well, it's still a herb, it's still a plant, like still a
Right.
flower,
Right.
but
Right. Right.
but but not the THC one that we're normally speak of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like catnip has a different, like all of these, like all of them have different technologies. Mugwort, you know what I'm saying? Like they all do something different. And so if you can incorporate that into, your ritualistic practice when you do these shrooms, you will get different effects every single time. But yeah, cuz that shit grounds me too. I'm like, yo, I need to smoke. Like, and I can't. There is no rolling up in the middle of a trip. There is
Oh
no
no.
rolling up. You
No,
got to
that's
have that
it.
shit
It better
ready.
been ready already. Or you gonna be struggling, bruh. You gonna be
You gonna
struggling.
be struggling.
And then you saying then you trying to get to it, so it's like, bro, I can't. I don't want to sit kind of make you feel like you a junkie for real. Like, bro, hey, the shrooms like, no, bro, you're doing too much. You should have had that ready already. You should have already had
Yes.
that ready. So it's
Yes.
it's and it's so it's crazy because the nature fights each other too. These two plants will
Yes.
fight each other, bro. Because I didn't had that experience too. Like, oh shit, I don't think I should have hit that. I don't think I
Yeah.
should have hit that.
But it's the strand. It's the type of
I was
strand
gonna say that.
that
Yep.
it is, because every strand is like, think about like a DNA splice, like every strand has its own DNA. And if
Right.
you know, every person has its own DNA, we all have our own personality. So different strands have different personalities. They have different ways of thinking. They have, different genetic makeup and genealogies, all of that. Like they're different, just like plants. Like if you like all the plants that I have, they come from different parts of the world. They require different, watering, sunlight,
Hmm.
different ways of harvesting. Like every plant is not the same, so
Nah,
yeah, they'll fight each other, and you'd be like, yo, I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have did
exactly.
that. You find yourself telling yourself, I am sorry. You
Because
find
the
yourself apologizing.
because the Mary Jane is pretty much a female plant, so you know that you don't really mess with the males. The male seeds don't produce anything. You know what I'm saying? So at the end
Right.
of the day, that's a female plant, and the shrooms give off, you know what I'm saying, male, pretty much
Yes.
genes, pretty much what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of gives off that vibe of being a male. You know what I'm saying? That dominant type of feel. But at the same time, for men, if you accept it, it will balance you on a feminine and male type of balance. It will do that for you. But you gotta allow it
Yeah.
to. And all men don't look at it as like, oh, bro, I ain't trying to be feminine. No, that's not what that is, bro. Like, you should be balanced. You should be able to connect with your significant other, your girlfriend, whoever that is. Y'all should be able to connect on that level on each side. You should be able to
Exactly.
do that. But if you're
Yeah.
not be able to do that, you want to be male dominant, or the female want to be female dominant, then there is
Yeah.
no balance there. And the shrooms
Exactly.
will help you to balance. You have to have a balanced life.
Yeah. For sure.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just energy. I mean, we're so stuck in these physical titles, and so I just want to preface that, even when I speak of male and female energies, I speak of the principles and not the physicality. I'm talking about the principle of what a feminine energy is and what the principle of a masculine energy is,
Master energy, right?
per the laws of the universe, per the laws of the universe, not the laws of patriarchy, all the laws of the matrix, which are different than the laws of nature. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like the matrix defies nature every day. So it's just like, we gotta call a spade a spade. So just
Right.
wanted to throw that out
Right.
there.
Man, so you
Yeah.
talked about your first experience. Now I got a memorable experience for me, and you was a part of it. But what was your memorable experience for the shrooms, man? Like what was something that really like took you there? And I know them Jones make you cry. They make me cry, and I know why they do because
Yeah.
of the thread of it being attached to the nature, and like you feel that shit, bro. Like you can feel it. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. You can look outside, see what's going on. Sometimes and you like, bro, that shit. It don't make you feel good.
Yeah. I think the most memorable experience for me was right before I left to initially go. I went to Vegas in 2020. I had did some shrooms, and because at this point I was invested. I was invested,
Yeah, you definitely
and
was.
yeah, I was invested. Okay, hear me. I was like, everybody gets shrooms. You get some. You get some. Like I wanted everybody to see what I was seeing, but I was like, yo, y'all not gonna
Right.
see what I'm seeing. It's my journey. I'm sorry. It's for me. It's a personal thing, right? But the most memorable experience for me was, like I said, I was about to leave, and this was literally the day before I left. And I took some shrooms and I went outside. And I like at the house here, we have a driveway, and you can like sit, literally you could sit in the middle of the driveway, and the entire sky, you can see everything. It's just clear as hell, right? So I had this little like beach chair that I had, and I went and sat down outside, and I looked up at the sky, and I said, okay, God, show me who you are. Who are you? What are you? I want to see you. I'm ready. I'm ready to know fully who God is.
I remember this part. I remember this. So
Yes.
I remember
And
this.
all of a sudden, I just started getting these computations like it's like sorry, this is just like this is really we're really in a digital world, right? It's like and I'm just like, yo, like what is going on here? So So literally the sky, like I'm sitting there, the sky opens up, right? And I just see like a grid on this across the sky of numbers.
Mm.
And like literally, like God, I'm just gonna say God, right? God
Hmm.
said to me, um, I am like basically there was a way that this like is the way that the shrooms said it to me specifically. I'm trying to remember how it was, but basically it was saying that, I am like, or I am a ration. And what I mean by that is like I am a frequency.
Mm.
I am not anything like physical. I am a frequency. I'm an energy. I am numbers. And when
Wow.
you see angel numbers, when you see numbers, I yeah, that is me. That is me like telling you I see you. I see you. I'm connecting with that's my way to connect with you is through numbers. You know what I'm saying? And of course, numbers makes up so much in this world. Like if we that's what I'm saying. Like, there's just so much that we don't understand because of the conditioning and the domestication of humans that has happened over so many years
Hmm.
and ages. But like, you are part of something. So like, okay, you know how like when there was a movie, I forgot what the movie was, but it was oh shit, that movie that Jim Carrey was in, where he
Talking
was
about
like
talking
in a
about where he
simulation.
the simulation. You talking about? God damn, man, what's the name of that movie?
What's the name of that movie?
Shit.
I forgot the name of that
Um,
movie.
where
But
he
that
walked to like
movie,
the end of the stage and wasn't nothing there.
Yeah.
It was something like,
And remember at the
oh
end
my
how he was like at the end he was
God.
disappearing as if he was a like a
Like a
pixel. It was like,
like a hologram type of thing,
yeah,
right?
like a hot, yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what we are. We are in fact pixelated. We are pixels. We are pixels, but we are just, it's the frequency that we see on, right? It's the frequency that we actually download through our eyes, which is a form of technology. You know what I'm saying? It's a camera. Like the way
Right.
our camera perceives the picture that's being bounced back to us, aka. And the reason why I say this is because when I was in a trip, I saw the pixelations in the sky of the trees, the clouds, the moon, the sun, the
Son,
sky,
all of it.
all of it. I saw it all there. It's all pixelations, and it's little tiny squares. You know what I'm saying? And those squares have numbers around them. And when it's all glued together, gravity, the things that make up this actual dome, the because every planet has different chemical makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Sidebar: every planet is made of gases, natural gases that live within that planet that create the actual genetic makeup of that actual atmosphere, right? So
Right.
our earth, if you research the sulfur and the gases, the natural sulfur, the natural gases, and the methane, and all the natural, like that shit ain't no, like the periodic table, you see how it squares, and it's
Mm-hmm.
all like, that's it. That's it. That is the makeup of this entire world, is what you see on that periodic table, which a part of that periodic table is the nine ether gases. Side note, you didn't know that, right? So about nine ether, it's the gases that make up that specific genetic makeup. But anyways, I digress. So
Oh, it was the Truman
yeah,
Show too. The Truman
the
Show.
Truman Show. I
Yeah, the
knew it was
Truman
something
Show.
show, something
Yeah.
show. But yeah, cuz go ahead. I'm listening. I'm gonna go grab. I'm still have my things on,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
gonna
go
go
ahead.
grab a charger. But go ahead. I'm listening. I can answer the questions.
All right. Yeah, but nah, I was just gonna piggyback off of your journey, your memorable journey. And what I was gonna say is that I don't know if you remember the time, but uh you was on the phone with me and I was sitting on the couch and my wife was sitting beside me and we had just took some not too long before I got on the phone with you. And they had kicked in like right when I came for the right, like soon as I got on the phone with you and went back in the house because we was on the porch actually smoking something.
Yeah,
So soon as we went and sat down on the couch, man, that's when that joint just took off. And
yeah,
that's when I started having my journey with the system, like with my parents and everything, man. And I
yeah,
remember I was mad, that joint was beating me up, bro. I mean, that shit was kicking my ass to the point where I was just bawling in tears.
yeah.
My wife sitting beside me, you on the phone with me, and all I can remember you hearing you say is, this is some amazing shadow work." That's all you kept saying to me. It's like, cuz, just let it out. Just
Yep,
let it go. Because
yep.
and during my trip, all I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying, and I talked about it on my other psychedelic Saturdays, but all I'm saying is that the lies that my parents told me, right?
Yeah,
And at that time, I'm not realizing that they didn't know neither, right? But as a, you know what I'm saying, as a child, you look up to your parents, so you take what they say to you to heart,
to
right? You know what I'm
heart.
saying? You
Yep.
take that with you through your life. So then when you
Yeah.
hit a point in your life and you realize that damn near everything that you know was a lie. So you have to unlearn and relearn every fucking everything.
Hmm.
So at that moment, that's what's going through my head. But my heart chakra is kicking my ass at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, all I'm seeing and hearing is everything that my parents then told me.
Yeah.
And I look at them being so systematic that they made us a part of something that we was never supposed to be a part of. And just sitting there on the phone with you, man, I was like, damn, bro, I'm kind of glad she was on the phone with me, bro, because I don't know how I would have reacted. I don't know how my wife would have, you know what I'm saying, dealt with me reacted to that joint like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the whole religion, school system, um, the government, like I'm getting smacked with this at all at the same time. I actually told my
Yes.
wife this the other day, man, because I feel like Kendrick Lamar, man, when he say, shit on my mind is heavy. I gotta tell you in pieces because shit is too heavy.
Yes.
I feel like I told her, I said, you know what? Sometimes I be like, damn, man, why did I get so much information at one time?
At
She's like,
one
what do you
time.
mean? I was like, you don't realize I haven't even told you everything yet.
Listen. Okay.
So
Your
I
your
felt
your
like I
your
got,
awakening was quick, cause like
man, man,
you came in quick and you was gone. I was like, I'm like, yo, this nigga passing me shit. Not that it's a race, it's a marathon,
nah, nah,
but but we all have. The thing is, right? It's kind of like me when I had the awakening. I was boom, you know what I'm saying? Like I dove in with deep dive, like, but you could if you could swim, the spirit knows like what you can and can't. Like Jesus, he knows how much we can bear. That
right.
saying is true. Like God will never give you more than you can fucking bear. And this is why you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. This is why you keep your little Christian
Ooh,
sayings. You keep that shit near you right here because that shit ain't lying. My mom and my daddy ain't lied to me. And I get where you're coming from because you relied on them to guide you and to give you the correct way to live. You thought that's a part of the American dream. Part of the American dream is also following in the footsteps of your parents.
right,
That's a part
right.
of all of this assimilation, right? But the quicker you can get on program, right? And the shrooms accelerated. I told you the shrooms are an accelerant. We
Yes,
talked about this before. How
yes.
if you when you take shrooms, like depending on because it may not be everybody. I can only speak for myself and you, because and the few people I know around me. But like it's an accelerant. So if you're willing to surrender to the process of it, it will take you from point A to point B in a year flat. You know what I'm saying? You'll be like, whoa, like okay. It's kind of like a cheat code, so to say. When you
Right,
get cheat
right.
codes out the book for the video game, and you
Yep.
like, yo, like that shit take you from world 4 to world 20. You like, damn, I just put this code in and I can go to world 20. Like shit. Like that's the moment of getting that magazine that you've been waiting on to put in your games so you can play that cheat code. Like that's what shrooms is. It's a cheat code. So like I get it. Like and my father, he passed before I even had my spiritual awakening, but that kind of kick-started things for me.
Right.
And so the only person I had here when I was going through originally through my spiritual experience was my mother.
Mhm.
And she just basically said to me, you need to make sure you know what you're doing. That's basically what she said.
Right,
but
right.
but I told her, I had an opportunity to talk with my mother even before she passed, and I'm just like, like she actually read an article. I had a magazine that wanted to, because I was heavy in the vending in Arizona, and I had an article that wanted to interview me. And I sent my mom my interview, and I was talking about all the shindigs and everything that I do, from the crystals to the
Mhm.
tarot to the herbs to the this and to the that. It was a whole article. My mother, she told me, she was like, the one thing that I admire about you is you never bent. You never bent. You never bent. And I'm like, yo, where you think I got it from? You know, and so you gotta take the happy with the sad. You know, you have to take the good and the bad, the happy and the sad.
The
And so
highs and the
that's why I
lows.
told you in that moment, I'm like, yo, let that shit out, cuz let it out now. Let it out now because it's about to get heavy. It's about to get heavy around here. You know what I'm saying? And like if it wasn't for our parents, like, and because, and I say our parents because shit, our parents, we grew up and went to church together. So the indoctrination runs through our family, meaning, because your grandmother was close with my mother, they were
Yep,
raised together
yep,
like sisters. You know what I'm saying?
yep,
And your grandmother looked out for my mama because, obviously my mama looked up to your grandmother like a big sister. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So,
yeah.
like, I say that to say, like, our families ran together, in Elk Ridge, in Little
Hmm.
Mayfield, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
In
right.
Howard County, in Ellicott City, you know what I'm saying? So them, what is it, the Waterloo community? Shit, I learned so much about my mama, doing her eulogy and everything. But I say that to say, like, shit, they only did what they could, what they had.
Yeah, and
Because back then they was just trying to agree, because shit, even for my mom is older than your parents, but like my mama came up when schools was segregated. My mama went to segregated schools. My
dang,
mama grew up during the civil rights movement. My mama was alive when Malcolm X, when Martin Luther King did his "I Had a Dream" speech, and she was alive to see that man get shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are like pivotal historical points that our parents lived through. They
right.
lived through Angela Davis and the Black Panthers, and people getting hosed down, and dogs biting them when they doing peaceful marches. Our parents, they lived through that shit. They wasn't ready back then, and it was people on this shit back then.
Right, right. But they wasn't gonna allow it to go but so far. And then plus, all the Fed taxes they was doing back then. If you stepped out of line, you was gonna be you was gonna get checked real quick. And back then,
Yes.
like you said, they wouldn't even dare think about stepping out of line. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Just because of how everything was structured. It was structured in a way that
Yes.
you better not cross that line. So yeah, I completely
Yes.
understand what you're saying, man. And it took me a while, man. It took me a while, bro, to get to that point where I had to say to myself, like, hey, you gotta give him a little bit of grace, bro. Just like your cousin told you. You gotta give him a little bit of
Yes.
grace. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. Cause they didn't
And
know.
our parents did well for themselves in the midst of,
Right,
come on now, our parents did well for themselves.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just in the fact of, I mean, I can speak for my mother, my father, they both work for the government. My dad went to the military, and he may have saw a lot of shit, but
Yeah.
despite the circumstances of the civil rights, what was going on back then, shit, our mothers, when they was living, they couldn't even have a bank account. Remember,
I know.
women just got the right to get a bank account in America in the fucking 1960s. And this ain't no new shit. Excuse me, this ain't no old shit. This is new shit. This is new. Like, let's be real. So when we talk about people that had to be docile and had to yes massa no massa, the earth at that time was in a dark place.
Dark,
It was
dark.
in a dark place.
You could
And
say
and
that
the
the earth, you could say that earth was in its lowest chakra at that point in time.
yes, or it was in its like dark sun
Dark
phase,
side.
like,
Right.
the dark side of the sun, the dark side of the moon, whatever they call it, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, that's where the play, and as slowly as the light started to shine and illuminate, people started waking up. We started defrosting.
That's a
We
good
started we
word.
started we started defrosting. We not frozen in a moment where we like, oh no, messing up. Like, now we like, yo, fuck the system.
All day. all
Fuck the
day
system.
long, all day.
Fuck the system. They wouldn't dare say that. Now they probably did say it because
Yeah,
all back then. Oh, the white man got me down. The white man got his neck
right.
foot on my neck. Like we was definitely there, but like the power behind it now is different.
It's different because the energy is different, and it's a lot of us that know ourselves now, and we not scared to speak. And one thing, if one thing God
Facts.
didn't give you was your mouth, and they said it in the Bible, just like in church, they said it. Your tongue is the sword. So that is the most powerful thing that God and Mother Nature could have ever given to you, right?
Yes.
And at that time, what did they do? They took their mouthpiece away from them. Hence
Yes.
why hence is why they kill people like Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying, Fred Hampton, Huey P. Newton. Like, you know what I'm saying? They taking them out because of their mouthpiece. They saying
Yes.
something that they don't want them to be talking about.
Yeah.
And now it's bigger than what they thought it would ever would be.
Yeah.
So you trying to shut people up now, bro, is almost impossible. Because you can't,
Yeah.
because somebody else is just
Social
right
media
behind them.
has, I don't know if, I mean, I don't think this is a backfiring moment. I think everything happens the way it's supposed to happen.
Hmm.
Um, but they can't stop. They can put up all, they don't have any new tricks. Let me just
None,
say that. They don't have
none,
no new tricks.
none, none.
They don't have no new tricks. And the more that we can just keep deep diving into ourselves and ignore what's going on around us, like, because if we feed the beast eats, if that makes
That's it.
sense. Like,
Oh no, I make a hell
the
of a lot of sense to me.
yeah, if we don't feed the, they say don't feed the animals. If we don't feed the animals starve and they eventually die.
And they starving right now. They
Oh,
starving.
they are starving.
Yeah,
They are
they starving
starving.
badly too,
Yeah.
real bad. And it's
Yeah.
because of the awakening. And a lot of people have woken up with their so-called New Year. See, they don't realize that the games they play affect them as well. So
Oh
they
yeah.
think that their little system that they created helps keep people in the dark, but in actuality, it does bring people into the light.
It
So
does. It
a lot
does.
of stuff that they do backfires on them a lot. And I tell my wife this all the time. They dumb as shit. Everything they do always fucks up. That's why they
Yeah.
always needed us to fix the shit
Yeah.
or create it
But-
for them so they could do it.
And
So at the end of the day,
this is why they have a reset button. But go ahead.
yeah. So yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, they ultimately getting what they deserve. And I say it all the time. I say it. They wrote it, so they gonna get it. You
Yes.
get what you can't. We know at this point your words are powerful. Don't matter if you say it or you write it on a piece of paper.
Yep.
So we know that this agenda was written.
Yes.
So at the end
The
of the day,
Bible is the
it has
playbook.
right. So it has to play out. And
Has
I
to.
heard something the other day, man. I was listening to Bobby, and he was talking about revelations. And he was like, the reason they don't want to speak on revelations is not all about the biblical aspect of it, because we understand that part. He said, but it's
Hmm.
only about you. It's about
Yeah.
your awakening. He said, see,
Yep.
the revelation is about the awakening of our people. And that's the main reason why they avoid that chapter in the Bible,
Yes.
is because they don't want
Yes.
you to know this is a time for you to wake up.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, that made a lot of sense to me when he said that. And then to
Yeah.
piggyback off of that, I was I was listening to the book, Nothing But the Truth, man. Have you read that book, The Whole Truth and Nothing But the Truth?
No. Uh-uh.
Well, right now, you can get it on my fucking Audible got like 3 months for 99 cents. So I just went on sign up for that joint. And this ain't no plug me. So I got the Audible, and you know what I'm saying, I'll read and listen to books, man, because I like to do both. Cause I listened to this book in 2 days. The first chapter was pretty much a rhetoric. The whole book was a rhetoric of what I already knew, but the
Yeah.
breakdown was a whole nother level, right?
Yeah.
So the third chapter in the book, man, he said the one way to keep our people from their reaching their highest level of consciousness is taking their history away from them. I said, God damn.
Taking their history away from them.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe that. And to speak on that to history, like real quick to tie into shrooms, right? I actually had a trip where like I was in like a I may have you may remember this. I was in a tank. I was in an incubation tank. But basically like I was an avatar. Like I was myself, but like I was an avatar, like out of the movie Avatar. Like I was an actual like avatar, and I could feel like I said, like I looked like me, but when I looked at myself, I was an avatar. You know what I'm saying? And like I was actually in a tank, and I had swam to the top of the tank, and I was like talking to what was like two entities. So I'm assuming they're like my cosmic mother and father, or masculine, feminine. And they were telling me like it's not time yet, you know what I'm saying? And there were like it was like a bunch of other tanks around me with other people in it, and it's literally like a tank, and you like go down into it, and like when you coming back to earth, that shit's heavy. That shit's heavy. When you're coming back to earth, like all you hear is, you ain't shit. You're stupid. You're ugly. You're fat. You're never going to make it. You're not successful. Like all the negative just frequencies, anything. Like it's like going through the tunnel of hell, like the hell tunnel. And then you like spit back out into this particular realm.
Right.
So they were telling me like, you gotta go back. You know what I'm saying? And I cried because I didn't want to go back, because I felt when I saw them, I just felt this immense amount of love. You know what I'm saying? And just like when I talk about like the history, like, you know, like we know what they told us of where we came from, where we come from, but where do we actually like what's our history? What's our history? Like,
Right. Right.
even and this is why I had to step back from so-called spiritual community, because it's just a lot of people with a lot of egos, with a lot of stories, and they just want to tell their truth. And it's like, yeah, there's many sides of the truth, but then there's the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
the truth, and then there's your truth. So my truth, your wife's truth, your son's truth, your daughter's truth, and then there is
The
the
truth.
truth, the universal
Universe
truth,
truth.
right?
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, 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 yeah. Right? Because we could say what happened on our end. That's what our cameras picked up. But
Yeah. The
what did
real
the
truth
sun
of
what did the sun
everything.
see? What did
Right.
what did the actual looking glass see? You know what I'm saying? And so, but that's the truth that everyone's searching for. That's the history that was recorded.
Right. Right.
That's the
It's
energy
pretty
we.
much knowing thyself. Getting back to
Yes.
thyself. Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people want to get to is the root of themselves. But
Yes.
I think a lot of people scared to take the journey, man.
Yeah, they are,
And
of course.
yeah, and don't get me wrong. Well, I ain't gonna lie, bro. We wasn't scared. I mean, me and my wife, because I realized at that time, man, at that time, and like the type of gas we smoke, because you like, bro, I'm not smoking this shit, y'all got. That shit is too fucking strong. So,
Look, that's what I said, okay?
right,
That's what I
yeah, you
said.
said that, and but we didn't have other cousins say the same thing. They're like, nigga, y'all be smoking spaceship fuel. I can't smoke that shit. So I'm like, hey, whatever. So at this point, and this was during the whole pandemic and everything. So at this point,
Yeah.
everybody just whatever at this point. So
Yeah.
me and my wife was like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And we just
Yeah.
went there. And you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? She's actually my next guest. And we had a couple trips together, bro. And that joint would definitely put you on a a therapy session too. Like I do tell people, like if you going through something, I would advise you and your significant other to do that. It'll put you in a therapy session real quick, real
Yeah.
quick. But see, at this time, and this is why I think that when I took the shrooms, I elevated so fast because I was already starting to elevate. I was already going
Yes.
into a different change in my life. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife was already going to counseling probably for like 4 years before you know what I'm saying all the you know what I'm saying the pandemic started and everything. We was already there. So me accepting change was already in me. So
Yes.
to go to another level was like, okay, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So and the same thing for my wife, man. She real, you could say, high tolerance. So it takes a lot for her to get to somewhere. So us having to go through multiple trips, it was a life open experience, man. And I advise anybody. And I was like you two at one time. I want to give them to everybody. Hey, bro, here, take some, please, take them, bro, please, take them, please, take them, please. I advise you
Yeah.
to take them, man. Please, if you want to sit down with me, we can do them together. Please, please. That's just
Yeah.
like the night you came to our house and we did them that night. And I remember that was the night I went through my journey and I seen my daughter going through some stuff. And even though that part of her life hasn't happened, I know that it's going to happen. I just don't know when. So that's what I
Yeah.
meant by like, and it's really on where you at determines how much the shroom is going to give you.
Yep.
So I was already in a whole nother, I guess you could say a whole nother level. So they just feeding me stuff probably, I don't know what, 3 years, 4 years down the line.
Yes.
And I'm like, God damn, bro, like this, because I tell my wife all the time, like, I already know how this shit end. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I say, I already know how it ends.
Mm.
I said, the crazy part about it is I can't even really tell you because you're not going to understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
It's not
one
for
night,
her. Not saying
one,
that, but it wasn't for
but,
her.
but
Yeah.
one night she had a dream about
Ah. Ah.
how it ended, and it aligned up with what my download was, and it still fucked her up. She was like, "Man, that she was like," because then I was able to tell her because God was like, "All right, now tell her," because now
Yeah.
I gave her the dream, so now you can tell her, and I told her, and she was like, "Oh, that's fucking crazy." I said, "Yeah, that's why I couldn't tell you yet because it was all about timing."
Yep. That's why I said it wasn't for her at the time, but best believe, you may not know when you what is the saying? He may not come when you want him, but he'll be there right
Be
on
there right
time.
on time.
Yeah, he's
He's
an
an on time
on-time
God.
God. Yes, he is. Okay. And I say that to say, like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You already have the blueprint. Our parents gave us the blueprint. You just gotta reach back and see how it aligns with your journey. You know what I'm saying? That's just it. And to that extent, cuz the shrooms, just because you take them and you shit the next day, that shit is not let me tell you something. Let me
It
tell you
don't
something.
leave.
Them they do not leave you
Uh-uh.
ever. And this is why a
Mm.
lot of people stop doing them because they're like, I don't need that shit no more. And
Oh, the
not to say,
shrooms
oh,
told me
I'm
to.
better.
They told me to stop.
I was told to
Yeah.
stop too because I got out of it what I needed.
Yep. And they told me if I come back again, you ain't gonna like the experience. I said, okay, I'm good. I won't be back. I'm not coming back, bro. I'm good. I'm good. They was like, there's nothing left for
Yes.
you to learn. I don't have any more downloads for you. I
Yes.
was like,
And
God
and that
damn.
is okay because that was a part of the journey. You know what I'm